our issues are resolved, and we shall join into the game once again. Big mana potion, also really good. I wonder if HawK has any desire here to perhaps not fast expand. Almost all humans will almost fast expand against undead, regardless of the case. Well, I guess with the exception of Dreadlord. But I feel there's also an option to just play one base against the Lich.
Right.
But I think HawK is very much in that fast expansion sort of camp, even if he's going to run into a couple of ghouls and a Lich ready to do damage.
Yeah, I feel like the first mana usage for INSUP is very important. What does he do with these close to 2 Novas that he has currently? He needs to get value out of them. He can't just get, let's say, a Footman out of it. He needs to kill a couple of Peasants. He needs to get nice clump Novas on the Footman or get some serious damage on the Archmage, because there is no greater heal, of course. So these Novas are important, because once that Lich is out of mana, if he's not level 2, it's going to be a long time before he can do anything other than auto attack.
And we see down the production tab, indeed, Keep Tech Tier 2 has started. So HawK is not very stubborn, is adjusting to the Lich first, won't be giving INSUP the opportunity to do tremendous damage against the Peasants by not expanding. 1 footy traded for 1 ghoul so far. Nova used to protect the ghoul on the way back. That might be enough, but okay, 2 Novas for 2 footies. Not exactly perhaps the value he was looking for.
Yeah, 2 for 2 trade, and now Archmage going to get close to level 3. He might actually secure it with that Militia split creeping. I like this from HawK, the one base play. What he can do is he can just control the map. When the Mountain King comes out, control the map again, and if he forces the Death Knight to be, minimum level 2 by stealing away camps, by maybe creeping the middle aggressively with Stormbolt, INSUP's going to have a very, very weak Lich open to focus fire, hero focus that is, when there is no level 2 Death Coil.
Yeah, that's always the big problem with a Lich in the early game. If some pressure is applied to him, it's a very squishy hero that is not fast. So once he loses a bit of HP, can be pressured quite successfully with an AM with boots like we see here. And if a few footmen are around, especially the early game not looking good. Very clearly reflected in the hero levels. Level 1 against 3 right now.
This is rough. There's not going to be a Nova for such a long time. If you can scrape together that level 2, then he could be using that Rod of Necromancy charge that he has left over. But now the pressure starts in the main base. There's a decent number of ghouls, but level 2 water elementals. There's not a lot of mana on the Archmage, similar to the Lich currently. 1 ghoul gets surrounded, so that's number 3 going to go down.
I think you should just pop the big mana. Just keep spamming elementals right here. I think you can do really big damage. Lich is close to 2, but still doesn't have that Nova. The Nerob in the back, of course, going to be a bit threatening. But HawK most likely is going to go into rifles, maybe tier 3 rifles. So keeping these footmen alive might not be that important.
Yeah, for sure. I'm surprised HawK's being so conservative with that big mana. When is he going to get value out of it if not right now? I mean, he's going to have level 2 aura very, very soon if he starts to get some ghoul kills. So the mana's not going to be a huge deal on that secondary hero, but he's being very, very safe. Doesn't want to get surrounded. Maybe, respecting the ability here of INSUP's potential to force that town portal. And now the Death Knight's on the way, going to be able to help save some of those ghouls. And INSUP seems to now, with the Halls of the Dead, be able to thwart some of these footmen away. There's the level 2, that crucial level up.
Yeah, finally. It seems quite late, though. Ideally, you want to have that quickly and then make use of the synergy between Dark Ritual and the skeletons of the ritual, the Rod of Necromancy.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Going for the Slaughterhouse, of course. Statues, as I've heard, are pretty good. Doesn't want to be missing those. As we have no tier 3 yet, by the way, for HawK. Rifles coming, Sanctum, MK. Old school ladder play would be perhaps to go for tier 2 Expo.
Yep.
Tier 2 Expo really bad against DK standard, but against Lich, ghouls, maybe it's an opportunity.
Yeah, I think HawK has all the time in the world to either go for that tier 2 expansion you mentioned, or even just go tier 3 inner fire rifles. I think is totally fine, but he can do whatever he wants. I don't think at any point, in the next 3-4 minutes is HawK going to get pushed and just lose the game. Coil, a little missed time, but actually nicely done by HawK to just not attack that creep right there. One more ghouls being pressured, Mountain King halfway across the map, and maybe more ghouls could fall, but there's not a ton of footmen left over.
Nice Illusion Scout sees the MK coming. If he was looking anyways, with the MK coming here, these footies, or these ghouls rather, could all die. And I think indeed INSUP didn't quite see it. Yeah, he had the illusion there, but you have to click on the minimap as well. Oh my god, that ghoul almost survives, but not quite. He's looking for the surround. INSUP loves going for these encirclements, loves going for the surround. If it costs 3 ghouls, though, it might not quite be worth it.
The creeps wake up, but for now they're just attacking the ghouls. That's another one going down. The rifle being pressured a little bit, but it should be safe. And yeah, INSUP not attacking a lot there. Even if he had attacked, I don't think he would have had enough damage to really win the engagement, but not land the surround. And even really, I feel if he landed one of those surrounds, HawK would have broken out easily. 2 rifles, a water elemental there, no problem. Nice surround, Stormbolt to finish it off, and he gets a Talisman of Evasion. More footmen being cleaned up, but soon these will be replaced by Tier 3 inner fire rifles as HawK goes castle.
In a normal kind of standard game, one base versus one base is really tough for the human because the DK Fiend build transitions so well into the late game because you get Aura to high level, you get Coil to high level, and you have Fiends, which are great late game units. With this build, DK is underleveled, and you're stuck on ghouls largely for a while, which will get weaker and weaker the longer the game goes. Even with Frenzy, they're still kind of bad, especially if there's Clap on the enemy side. This is why this one base tier 3 for HawK makes so much sense, and it's got great level ups. Power spikes coming down the line with inner fire, with the paladin, and with more levels.
And those will soon be coming in, but INSUP's tier 3 is going to hit first, but he's not really in a position to go grab that orb, which is normally the immediate power spike. Nova, first rifle, could go down. There's no coil, or else that would be a guaranteed kill, but the priest heal is there, and now the Fiends might be getting pressured a little bit. INSUP seems to have a terrible army here. The statues, though, a little bit mismicroed.
Yeah, it's very important to have those always in the right position, and of course casting, so statue uptime is really what sets the great undeads apart oftentimes. We saw Xlord playing really well, but even his statue uptime was slightly lacking at times.
Right.
Later on, when we see Happy, you'll see the statue uptime being close to 100%, which gives the undead so much strength and sustain in this game. Triple hero now for the undead, no orb yet, but 1 kill on the rifleman, and HawK perhaps being a bit over-aggressive right now.
Yeah, nicely done from INSUP, and there we see the statue uptime coming into play, or else the coil would be here to kill that rifle. But now the block comes in. Yeah, INSUP, I think, was more aware. The first time he backed away towards the tavern and got the Dark Ranger, then he started being more aware of his statues. But that first engagement, I think everything was just hotkeyed together, and that actually saves a rifle, which seems like small potatoes, but in these one-base games, it's down to every unit, especially the Fiends and the rifles in specific.
Yeah, absolutely. These losses matter tremendously. Also, the creeping that you're able to do, the items you find, the experience you gain, the levels you'll have to work with. And the orb's also going to be hugely important. Of course, as everybody knows, Orb of Corruption very strong. The entire undead race reliant on that orb. For the human, the Orb of Fire, normally in every other matchup, basically, not that good, but against undead, against coil healing, super strong as well.
Pendant of Energy from the expansion. That greater mana still left over from the very first camp of HawK. INSUP now gets at least level 2 Death Knight. That aura, very important, but the level 2 Death Coil, much more important. Lich on the way to level 3. And honestly, looking at both these armies, the supplies, the hero levels, we might have a game on our hands.
HawK looking for the creep jack. The paladin is now part of the army. Staff, yes, but no Orb of Fire yet. To fully get this human army online, it is quite expensive. I would say the undead army looks quite fight ready already. Of course, the ghouls die easily, but the Fiends are going to have more survivability. Focus on the rifle right away, and that is where the staff comes in. For the next save, there's going to be Whole Light available. We have 1 Destroyer in the mix as well, ready to dispel against the Water Elementals, but only 1 Destroyer to do so. Militia coming in from the main, love that timing. If HawK can push back INSUP right now, he can get so much creeping done here in the middle. Yeah,
this could almost be a TP. INSUP sticking around, he's going for the hero focus, and there is no staff currently off cooldown. It shouldn't be at least. The coil comes in, and he does actually get the last hit there. Nicely finding that 3rd hero. That means if the creeping does go in HawK's favor, he won't be able to power up that paladin. Another Fiend gonna fall. I believe that's the 2nd of the fight.
Yeah, the big mana potion completely swinging this fight around. MK was out of mana, drops the pendant, eats the potion, full mana now, and now he's the one who can really set the pace. DK about to run out of mana. It's all about the healing. It's all about this pick-off potential. And yeah, no Whole Light at the moment, but it was level 1 Paladin. It is revived very quickly, only about 10 seconds away, and here we go. That big mana potion wins the mid-game for HawK.
Absolutely, and it's maybe going to win the middle camp as well, as that marketplace looking very juicy right now, but the lab to the market is still going to be totally fine and very efficient for HawK as INSUP goes back to creep his Scorpions and probably his expansion. Still plenty of creeping to be done, and both players can gain like tons of value from that as well.
Oh my god.
Oh, no way. Get out of here. Get out of here. Come on. NA LOL, give us something here.
Pendant of Energy, of course, always great as it increases the hero's mana pool. It has, for all those who don't watch too often, great synergy with mana potions. You drop the pendants on the ground, and then you have a lower mana pool again. You eat the potion, and then you pick up the pendants, and you can greatly increase the effectiveness of mana pots. HawK far ahead now. He is expanding while forcing the undead away from creeping. Could even go for the red camp right now. Since there's still a TP for HawK, he's super safe to do this. And he's got a great hero level ups around the corner. Level 4 Archmage is huge. And level 3 Pally, it seems like if he gets level 3 Pally, this game is almost his guaranteed.
Yeah, it's very possible if he just takes maybe one creep here, gets the level 4 Archmage, then pulls everything back and leaves the Pally. He could definitely do that, but HawK being maybe a little bit inefficient. He creeps the big creep first and then pulls his main hero back, but he might still get level 3. And INSUP is going to take his Tuskar, he's got his lab, and he looks to be going towards the red camp as well. INSUP got greater mana himself, too, so the item's going both ways, as it seems. Medallion's also nice, but the creeping will soon be equalized, as will, it looks like, the hero levels, but correct me if I'm wrong, I think the hero levels, if even, are going to favor HawK.
By a little bit, yes. Both Archmage and MK, the same as Lich and DK, are all super strong in the late game, but the third hero here is the difference maker. Paladin will always be extremely strong with Aura and Holy Light. The Dark Ranger much less so. If the human is on top of his Priest micro and has to dispel when he needs it, where he needs it, then both Skeletons and Silence can be dealt with quite effectively with those Priests. But that's easier said than done. Priests are one of the clunkiest units in the game to control, and sometimes they're too far forward. Nova, right clicks, they all die, so, you know, it can go back and forth, but in a perfect world, the Priest should be able to deal with the Dark Ranger well. HawK now going for a smart attack. He knows INSUP's TP was used earlier, so perhaps he might not have a TP right now, or if he uses the TP to get back, he's going to buy time for the expansion. Here comes the TP, yeah, while the Fiend is taken out. And now we have enough fire rifles with high-level heroes. Todd, I know he's listening. This is the strongest army, as both of us know.
Nice burrow dodge there to start things off, and INSUP is defending in an undead base. It's very, very strong. We see the positioning is good as well. The shop to his back. Burrow again. No reveal or dust available for that burrow, so that will be very effective. And this could end up being an overcommitment, but of course HawK has the expansion behind this and a 10 supply advantage currently, so even fighting at INSUP's base, he's going to kill that Destroyer, killing more and more Fiends. Hero focus, Coiled Nova, the Archmage.
Oh my god.
He really could have lost that Archmage there.
Yeah, he was really slow on the trigger.
Yeah.
That was so close to actually finding the kill. That was like 10 HP off or something. INSUP just slightly miscalculating. Of course, you can't just click on the portrait and be like, is this enough damage? You have to kind of go by feel.
Yeah.
And that was just slightly off. HawK almost giving a big window there, back into the game to INSUP, but not quite. And now, we look at the armies, the supply, the economy, HawK ahead in every regard.
Yeah, if INSUP had gotten that Archmage kill, he had the greater mana, he could have even passed that to the Lich and just Nova'd the army to death, and HawK would have had to retreat and probably lost at least, you know, a couple of Priests, maybe a couple of Rifles, and then INSUP has the map control to go for the expansion pressure. But not a reality here, unfortunately for INSUP. An inner fire +2 on the way for the rifles. Yeah, it's going to be a scary army, even scarier than it is right now. There's just constant upgrades for HawK. He's always going to get stronger, and heal scrolls to boot could even help as well as the potions of invulnerability. Has double staff now, so this army's even better than it was when Hawktown portaled out.
No expansion to be found bottom right. But one expansion here should be good enough for HawK to claim the 1-0. INSUP really in a desperate situation. But Undead always has a way back into the game, and we almost saw it there. It is the hero kill. Silence against the Paladin, Coil Nova, kill the hero. That is, at this point, the only way INSUP can win this game.
Yeah, he's definitely going to go for that. Right now, down by 17 supply. HawK with no bank to think of, but I don't think it's going to matter in a straight-up fight. An army versus army fight. But yes, the hero focus is going to be what's on both players' minds. I think HawK is going to be very well aware of what INSUP's single out is here. And that's the Archmage, I think. Archmage, or maybe go for the Paladin. He doesn't have Divine Shield, but there's double staff. It's so tricky here for INSUP.
A monstrous task ahead of the Canadian. Will have to micro better than he ever has to win this one. First Fiend going down, trading it for Priest as well. Priest normally super squishy, but when they have Inner Fire, they're surprisingly tanky. As it turns out, AM again, far up front, dangerous position. We have Silence on the Paladin. You can't dispel that. And here we see the Holy Light coming in again. The heroes are saved. He doesn't get the kills needed. HawK takes the 1-0 victory. Coming in prepared. Everyone knows pretty much by now, INSUP really likes playing that Lich first style very aggressively. Many humans will still fast expand against that and give INSUP that opening to find the damage he wants to find. But HawK flipping the script, saying, hell no, I don't need to fast expand every time. I can adjust to you. Tech up, creep up, get my big army, and you won't have that usual undead transitional strength from the standard into the late game.
Yeah, there's just no real option for INSUP if HawK is going to play so solid and play one base against it. Here we see that creep jack at the expansion. This is really where it started to fall apart for INSUP. He lost so many ghouls there, and then the fight in the middle could have gone decently, but a lot of focus on that paladin and losing so many fiends in the process. Very, very difficult. So, yeah, the paladin goes down, but a lot of units lost, and then the army just got so strong.
I wonder if this game looks a lot different if INSUP managed to creep more in the beginning. Here we see that TP was really late. Jesus Christ. Yeah, if he gets level 2 faster, if he gets level 3 faster, if he can find some more kills, you know, a fast level 3 can be quite something on a Lich. But anyways, time to reset. For us and the players, we're going to go into a short break before we get to map 2.
The DreamHack WarCraft Free Championship is brought to you by Norton Gaming and Coinbase.
HawK gets the 1-0 lead, as many expected. INSUP also playing as many expected. With a Lich first, HawK seems to come in perfectly prepared, had the answer. I asked you during the break already, is he going to play Lich again, or might iNSUP now switch it up, play something more standard?
Yeah, I would hope so. I would hope for, honestly, a Crypt Lord is what I want to hope for, but I think he's just going to go Lich again. iNSUP seems to always do that. Even if he's down in a series, he sticks to his guns, and his guns are Lich. I just have not seen him have a ton of success with that.
Wait a bit of a hosting bug. I believe we're going to need a rehost for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should be resolved quickly. How stubborn is iNSUP, I guess?
Yeah.
That's the question here. How stubborn is he? Or, you know, you can also view that through a different lens. Maybe he feels like the Lich first is still playable if he just plays it better, if he just gets the levels faster, if he can dominate more. I think also if you play Lich first, especially if it's one base, I think you really need the boots. Like, really bad.
Yeah.
It's so much down to positioning and getting in those little pot shots here and there and pinging for damage. And of course in one base, you know, low economy, every little kill really matters. So yeah, I think you need the level 2 faster, make use of the Dark Ritual as well.
Right.
So maybe that's another way, another out for him, mentally and strategically. Just play the Lich again, if that's his preferred style, but just play it better.
Yeah.
I must say, I'm not a big believer in the Lich in this matchup.
Yeah.
I've seen some great games with that first hero choice from 1-0 and Happy, but you know that's 1-0 and Happy. That's
for sure.
Not saying much.
Yeah, and the difficult thing is getting those high levels, those higher levels at least, on a map like Last Refuge, which is our second map, is going to be very, very tricky, I think. Like, it was much more possible for him to get a big power spike with those levels early on Northern Isles, maybe one of the better maps, maybe Tidehunter's the best, to get that early level 2.
Yeah, exactly. Last Refuge is normally known to be a pretty bad normal damage creeping map, you know, so for grunts and ghouls and footies, all that, because there's tons of camps which are annoying with Ensnare and have a lot of heavy armor and can be much better creeped if you pull them out. So for Fiends and Headhunters can be crept quite well. You know, there's some units who would go perhaps a bit wild here and play something like Fast Fiends, but I can't see that for iNSUP. It's a naturally passive style, and iNSUP is everything but passive. I myself, playing sometimes late at night ladder, have come to experience that. Running into your base, trying to surround everything. Against human especially, very hard to do, since Militia is going to be a very strong base defense always. I think that has a lot to do with why iNSUP is so strong, especially against Night Elves. Because there can be very problematic. Ghouls running in, you can only defend with like Moonwells and Wisps. That's also strong, but not very potent as far as damage goes. And that's why we've seen iNSUP before beating players like Foggy and Moon at times on some maps, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, this matchup, as we now said multiple times, has always been his Achilles heel. And we would have hoped for him, we've loved for him to be able to come that here, but at the moment not looking too good.
Yeah.
Really is going to have to step it up, and we'll see after a few retries if it's finally going to work.
Yeah, I think we're good to go. I think we're almost there. We need some more Roman numerals, guys, in the Twitch chat. We're going to need them. XXILLXILXIL. Everybody, come on, spam it in the chat, because in the bottom left, it is our Canadian superstar. It's iNSUPERABLE.
And in the top right, fond of Instagram, cakes, and a lot of weights, is HawK.
All right, so I think I saw a Ghoul opener. That seems to be, all right, I mean, Crypt Lord possible in this map, but I think we're just going to see a Lich again. I hope what you said becomes true. I hope he can play it a little bit cleaner.
Yeah.
Make the right decision with those Novas, because he used those 2 Novas in the early game. Yes, he got 2 Footmen in the last map, but then his mana's gone. Then he's level 1, no Dark Ritual, and then he's just on the back foot.
Here we have the decision to be made. Lich it is again. I mean, you know, I can respect it. It's his bread and butter. That's what he's feeling most comfortable with, especially if you don't have much tournament experience. I think it's going to be very risky if you just start winging it. All of a sudden, I think you gotta stick to what you practiced, what you're comfortable with, and just roll the dice, you know, see if it works. Or if it doesn't, hopefully this time it does work better. Is that a 6 Acolyte?
Seems to be, yeah, interesting. Okay, and HawK goes for, I might be overthinking this, but the tower, super, super early here. I almost want to say, is he going to go for the Merc Camp right away and get a super early Arcane Tower, possibly?
I mean, might be, but that would be the worst thing you can do. Against INSUP, if he suddenly shows up with Lich and 4 ghouls while you're creeping the Merc camp, that does not seem wise. Maybe he just wants to be...
he's scouting with the footman.
Some security.
So,
yeah, okay. INSUP. He solves the TP. He's going to expand, right? Yeah. All right, I think I like that a lot better.
Yes.
He's not going to rely so much on getting big damage in, on getting these surrounds. He's going to be playing the defensive role, ready to be attacked, creeping more, perhaps being higher level. Really not what we're used to seeing from INSUP. Why didn't that sheep get killed through the Nova?
Interesting, yeah.
That's the relevant Remo questions where Neo would always be saying, is that really important right now?
It's very important, okay? Neo, I know you're listening. It's very important.
Both with the rings. This is like a few weeks all over again. I feel like we're seeing rings every day, every game.
So we knew what Neo was going to say. Now we know what Todd would have said as well. Because we have rings on both sides. All right.
They're following a script. Maybe they're just AI. Maybe you're just inside my dream.
Maybe.
We're getting deep here with solipsism, boys. Anyways, expansion is going to be coming up. HawK has scouted this. It's just now creeping heavily. He's going for the Merc camp after all. Doing the little pull trick, as we've come to expect it. That's going to be very strong support. So, oftentimes in the early game for the Undead, the problem is, at some point when the Archmage is level 3 or 4 and he attacks you with Mercs, you can only defend with Ghouls, which makes things very difficult.
Right.
Which is why normally the Crypt Lord is the best choice in these fast expo games, because he's pretty strong in the early game, very strong, to be honest, with level 3 and Beetles. Now, Lich can also be really good, but he needs level 3 for that level 2 Nova and be really diligent about spamming Dark Ritual. He's going to need a lot of mana to secure this expansion, which is coming up now. Perhaps slightly late on that Haunted, but still certainly rather quick, all things considered.
Yeah, how many ghouls did he pull initially? Did he pull the 4 ghouls at the beginning?
It must have been 4,
yeah,
I guess.
Right, of course.
We should have paid attention.
Yeah, if you pull 3, then you have more lumber, so you get the gold mine earlier. If you pull 4, your creeping is faster, but the gold mine's later because you're lacking lumber. So it seems like INSUP went for the faster creeping, which he will get that Lich level 3. Definitely a much better game so far, but a very passive game for the side of INSUP. And I do like, just to reinforce what you said earlier, I really like this adjustment from INSUP. I think the expansion is a much better style to play, regardless of what the first hero is. It could be a Death Knight, Crypt Lord, even maybe a Dreadlord, although HawK would play one base. I think this is the proper adjustment for INSUP. He's still comfortable in his opening hero, but strategically he has more opportunity.
Getting back to the items, the first item, the ring for HawK, certainly wasn't the best, but after that, hallelujah!
Yeah.
We got some claws, mantle, robe, even sentry wards, very good. Can't complain. On this map specifically, the AM can creep level 4 super fast and then keep up the pressure non-stop with lots of water elementals and mercs. And now even before level 4, on 3 already, we're going to see him go in, look for some pressure, but he has to be very careful with positioning. If there's like 5 footies stacked up, that's going to just be a huge invitation for a Nova.
Yeah, and INSUP Nova's that footman hoping to get it. I don't think he saw the Berserker when he cast that Nova. It was maybe a little behind the trees, but I think if not, he maybe would have gone for that Berserker right away. The positioning has been great, especially on the Priest. Notice how it's a little further back than the Berserker that's already far back. Perfect positioning, but now maybe potential. INSUP could always go around the trees and try to sneak behind these ranged units. He's going to be eyeing those mercenaries.
The player's forces are under attack.
There's one more sheep that wasn't quite killed with the Nova earlier. Now he does. It's more skellies. He's trying to pull him into the narrow tower, get a few shots off, and then use the Nova to finish him off. Or use it in the back on the Shadow Priest. That one goes down. The Berserker especially is the big target you're always going to be looking for.
Okay. Almost.
I don't think he should get too fancy here. There's so many Watch Elementals, he can't hold us around. And I was talking about it earlier. You have to really be spamming that Dark Ritual. It seems like he hasn't. Lich completely out of mana now.
Yeah, he did get that Berserker as well, I believe, with a Nova. That's what he used the second Nova for. So both mercenaries go down. The experience is kind of even, still 4.0 for the Archmage, so INSUP can catch up in levels. He's done a pretty good job saving the ghouls as to fall, but he's at least kept the majority alive. Now he goes for this round again. Like you said, though, I don't think he's going to be able to hold it, but a Nova could come in. Does he have the mana? It looks like he almost does.
Oh, he's getting blocked by the Watch Elemental as well, though.
No.
Unfortunate. The Lich was just on follow. Got blocked by the Elemental. And he lost a lot of units right there. Sacrificing some ghouls to the Dark Ritual, getting some more kills. The Lich needs level 4. Both these heroes, come to think of it, have great mana sustain.
Yes.
AM through the Aura, Lich through the Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual level 1, not that big of a deal. Dark Ritual level 2 is crazy, because every single skeleton you eat is one more Nova.
Another Footman getting him close. Water Elemental could definitely deny this Footman. Not quite, though. Nice last hit. The Claws helping out with that. And Archmage still quite low. And, you know, even if INSUP can't secure a kill, he can always just keep throwing Novas on this Archmage. Like, throw one with the next Dark Ritual, and it will be low. Tier 2's now almost on the way, but, you know, it's going to be a long time before he even has those potions. He's going to have a shop, and now he's got the Priest, which helps. But I think as soon as he has that mana, if the Archmage comes in range, just throw the Nova on him.
Yeah, and so needs to remember to buy Red Necromancy. There it is. Creep maybe one more camp. You could even aggressively go for the enemy null camp, and then it's time to spam these Novas. And if you find more and more kills with them, you could manage to get a fast level 5. And level 3 Nova is kind of crazy. Lots of people talk about level 3 Clap, level 3 Stomp, and they certainly are extremely good. But level 3 Nova also is nuts. It's an 8-second slow on like, I think an 8-second cooldown, or is it 9 seconds?
Yeah.
I should know that, but I don't. Against units, that is. And of course also a lot of damage. Lots of footies coming in now. That's once again going to be an invitation to the Nova. I like that HawK isn't just A-clicking in with the Footman, because that would be a lot of damage suffered if he did.
Yeah, and INSUP's been playing it really safe, so HawK knows that INSUP's just going to kite away whenever possible. There's a Nova on the Archmage. There's possibility, if he was level 4, for another Nova, but again, the damage is good. It's difficult to heal him up. He sacks a Ghoul there, and he's got another Nova. There's a TP, but 7 HP. Where's he going? Is he going to his shop?
That Berserker makes it away. Shop heals up right away. The Shadow Priest was lost, right? Slight mistake by HawK.
Yep.
The Shadow Priest running into the creep camp. That's kind of what lost him the game earlier on against Lawlight on this map. That first Shadow Priest, you can't lose it. This one wasn't the first, but you know, still for healing. Relevant. Lich now gonna get level 4. What's the item here? 1 of Mana Steel. Not the best. 50 mana more or less between these two heroes. I don't think makes that big of a difference. Heal Scroll, I like that pickup. And now very, very close to that level 4.
Death Knight soon to be out. That'll mean the Lich won't be in the danger zone any longer. Tier 2 now completed for HawK. We'll see what that second hero is and what the tech comes up soon. Footman, there's the level 4 and another Nova. Yeah, just keep throwing those Novas on the Archmage. Why not? Death Knight can heal up and more Dark Ritual can come in now on level 2. Potion of Vulnerability items that have been crazy for HawK. Heal Scroll as well, but I think we're going to just see another Nova. Coil Nova as well. That is a dead mage if he lands that.
Oh, Nova! My goodness!
Oh my god. Jesus.
I love how there's just footy standing in front where Nova would be hugely effective, but he's just like, nah. I'm going for the old wizard. INSUP also wants to hear that Archmage Death Sound impression that Roddy and Todd did earlier. It does sound wonderful, I gotta say.
Alright, so we see a Sanctum, and we see the second attack upgrade for plenty of things, of course, but is there potential for Griffins here? 2 Sanctums.
We've been seeing him quite a bit from Chimiko with mixed success. Against Ghouls, of course, outstanding, but as the Fiend numbers are rising, it is always a danger, especially if proper upgrades are not being forgotten, which at the moment they seem to be.
Yeah.
INSUP's lumber rather low, would love to see more Ghouls. But he's bringing a lot of Ghouls always to the fight. There we go, that's a sick Nova, and that is, I think, the first real display of how good Nova can be against footies.
Absolutely, and 5 Fiends here. Stormbolt on the Death Knight, maybe not the best choice if there's another Nova. Can he save himself? Heal Scroll is there. Yeah, I think just going for the Fiends would be better. Now maybe Sunk Cost Fallacy is sinking in. He's going to go for the Death Knight again. No, the Focus Fire on the Fiends. Is there a Coil? No, just the Heal Scroll. So that Fiend is dead. Could be denied, but the Dark Ritual is on cooldown. Big Nova again, and INSUP finding a lot of kills despite losing that first Fiend.
I would love to see just him starting to eat Fiends. For 1 Fiend, you get like 3 Novas.
For sure, yeah.
Do it.
Oh,
DK in trouble again. Slightly mispositioned, might be going down. Eats the Ghoul, gets the kill using the Nova. DK level 2, and that's huge for the aura.
Okay, INSUP doing a great job here, and look at the supply right now. 40, 43. Okay, built units as I was looking at it versus 60. Breakers coming out, tier 3 about to be finished for both players, in fact, but INSUP, I think this is a good game to go for a 70 supply push once he grabs that orb.
Yeah, absolutely. With a third hero, perhaps.
Statue. Oh.
He's diving. He's diving. This AM does have a TP. Oh, excuse me. And an Invul Potion. So he can be rather daring, but okay, Statue will be saved. There's also more experience going to iNSUP. Level 3 DK, of course, would be huge. And the human side merchant is still there. iNSUP, I think, knows how important and valuable it would be to steal that away right now.
Bro, 4.6 on the Lich. This is going to be a lot of nuke potential. The Paladin is on the way, but another 50 seconds, and only level 1 Holy Light. First Knight's also coming out, so it's soon to get to that point in the game where it's very difficult. Nice invuln into the steal of the greater potion of vulnerability. Nova, get on the Mountain King. Staff is not yet being purchased because the shop's at the expansion. iNSUP, I think he could go here. Look at the Priest, look at the Berserker, ensnared, kill everything here.
Tier 3 finished, Orb will soon come. No, never mind. Does have Backpack. Nice deny there as well. iNSUP's Lumber now also looking good. Good game by iNSUP, definitely. Much better looking than before, but he's forgetting a bit about the macro. At this stage, he should have certainly started getting some Fiend upgrades.
Yeah, and no Temple yet. I would expect a single Temple for some Banshees, at least a few by now, and that you can afford it. You can afford the 2 Crypts, Slaughterhouse, and the Temple, and just to go straight to 70 supply there. But he's going for the Destroyers. Lich needs to be careful, but Potion of Vulnerability is available, and Coils no Town Portal though, but the back to the shop would help. Maybe iNSUP might be overstaying his welcome here, because where is the orb?
Yeah, iNSUP seems to have a bit of tunnel vision. No orb, no upgrades, no Banshees. He's thinking about go, 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 fight, fight, kill. It's oftentimes how he plays. We know that from his stream. At least now he's got the orb coming in. Stormbolt on the DK, kind of wasted. And the target fire against the Knights, quite effective as you can see here. We have Holy Light, but not unlimited against just that. Supply lead still for iNSUPERABLE. It does seem like he's got a lead. A bit of a lead here this game.
And no staff yet either. So Nova is going to be a kill there. The Paladin now might actually be going down. There should be a coil as well. The Death Knight needs to be careful. Paladin should fall, definitely should fall. Focus fire on the Archmage, but Holy Light is there because the Paladin isn't dead. Nova secures the kill, but iNSUP has to back away. There's a Stormbolt. Surprise, HawK didn't commit for another Fiend. Yeah, and iNSUP, I think what he's doing by going is he doesn't feel he can win when the Knight Gyro army starts to get online. He said that time and time again. I think he's afraid of the game going any later.
The item was left there on the high ground. We saw that before by X-Lord, this time picked up by the Undead as the heal wards, as the Lich is very close to level 5. A quick fall back to the red camp, get level 5 Lich and 3 DK. Could be huge.
Yep.
And yeah, the point with the Knights you bring up is very relevant for his psychology, also strategically for this game, because normally you need Frost Armor to deal with them. Of course, with this build, that's not going to be part of the equation.
Yeah, that's a great point. You really want that level 2 Dark Ritual because the Lich with the Nova is your carry, but you can't really counter the Knights, especially when there's a staff, which there still isn't. I feel like that's a big mistake from HawK even, to not go back and get that. He's going for the red, which was an excellent choice, of course, but now the Creepjack comes in, and iNSUP's still ready to fight, it seems like.
They actually stole the last hit. That was nicely done, but of course, item going to HawK. Slight mistake here, creep route-wise, not going for the red camp by iNSUP, but still he gets the hero kill again. This Paladin might be underleveled this whole game. A-bomb also gonna go down, but did spread a lot of disease. And now all the gyros webbed, and these will die fast. Destroyers took quite some damage, but they will not quite be going down yet. Coil slightly missing, one more Fiend falling. Supply-wise, we're pretty even. 70 supply for iNSUP. Destroyers being pulled back. Statue uptime now decent, was a little bit lacking earlier, but he only got 1 statue, not 2. Needs to remedy that as well soon. With a level 5 Lich, super strong here. Not too much mana anywhere visible, but also, where's the damage for HawK? It seems to be severely lacking.
Yeah, the Mountain King ran out of mana there, but I think where the damage for iNSUP is lacking a bit. He's been moving the units a ton. His kiting has been good, but he hasn't been attacking well. Kiting, Potion of Vulnerability from the shop found earlier, is used, and now Mountain King backing away, still without a Stormbolt. The Destroyers maybe could have devoured a little bit more too. One is about to die. The statue now falls. That's a big find for HawK. The Paladin on his way back as well. A couple of breakers about to fall, but iNSUP still trades favorably and still up by 10 supply.
One more statue is coming in, and an A-bomb as well. It's of course a pretty hectic game right here. The macro on iNSUP's side could perhaps be a bit better. Stormbolt flies, looking for more kills. This one denied, but still 2 Fiends going down. Fiends that are finally 1-0 upgraded, but not more. Can the upgrades do it for HawK? He's got smaller army, weaker heroes, but somehow he's pushing forward, getting another kill. 1 Destroyer falls, and the next one. That's so much experience. Oh my god, HawK. He seemed almost out of it already, but fighting his way back into this game.
Yeah, very nicely done from HawK. iNSUP, the kiting, honestly, not the best. There was just not a lot of damage follow-up with when he was getting into a better position. And the Destroyers were just never devouring the Water Elementals, so they were so weak the entire fight. I mean, still close to even supply with a new production round coming for iNSUP. But, oh, a couple of Priests got out of position. That's really nicely done from iNSUP. Holy Light on 1. Still no staff, though.
Look at that slow duration. Look at that slow duration. They're just not moving. They're not moving. That's a level 3 Nova. These priests on the way back always going to be exposed. There's another item on the ground. What's going on? What was that?
What did he just steal? Potion? Did he steal
What
a
was
potion?
that the ring or the... No, that was the robe, I think.
Oh my god.
It must have been the robe.
It had to have been, yeah.
You just gave him a robe.
Why did he
I mean,
drop
it's
that?
Sweden, it's cold, but here it's not. Still going to appreciate that one.
What the hell? He wasn't even slot starved. He had
very weird.
He had inventory space. What the hell? That makes no sense. All right, but the staff and orb, a bigger upgrade than the robe once was, and INSUP still in a good position with a fighting chance. If the next fight can be good, Disease Cloud spreading the damage. Double water elemental in the back, one fiend going to fall, but this is a choke point.
MK copying lots of damage. Where's the Pally? We need some healing over here.
Oh my god, he finds the MK. Where was the staff as well? It was off cooldown, and now Archmage going to be forced to Town Portal. Most likely, I think we're going to see... Okay, there's a Holy Light, but the Fiend could still be sacrificed. Almost a coil, but not quite on that Death Knight. Knight's out of position. A couple of Knights out of position, in fact.
Level 3 Dark Ranger eats the Fiend. Look at that Lich! He got full mana from eating one Fiend. It's such crazy value. Only 215 gold if you think about it. Archmage in trouble, has to TP. Over to the Expo, I imagine. One more Fiend does go down. Lich looking for the kill. He's sharking. He's looking. Does he have the damage? Heal potion. Not quite. Pally gonna have another heal rate soon, but Archmage, he has to buy a TP if he wants to survive this, I think.
Definitely.
Going way into the back. This Lich, so much mana. And he's on a healthy spider diet. Sounds gross, is effective. And I think INSUP, he's about to close this one out.
Very nicely done. There's a lot of towers for HawK. I believe that's 3 with an Arcane, but there's always going to be Novas. INSUP's allowing HawK to heal up a little bit now, but there's the Nova again to cancel the heal. Holy Light there, but still a level 1 Paladin. Mountain King, where are you? 45 seconds. INSUP has a big window to close this out right now.
That's an eternity in this late game situation under so much pressure. Big army for INSUP. He's still lacking some tech with upgrades and Banshees, but the heroes, man, they're so strong. This Lich might get level 6, at which point I think he should actually go Frost Armor. But anyways, still missing a bit for that. DK low mana. INSUP could ferry in some mana potions now with Backpack. That could be a good idea. Militia coming in, but what are they gonna do against level 3 Nova and a Dark Ranger as well?
Level 4 Death Knight as well for the kiting that is going to probably have to continue soon, but still 17 supply advantage for INSUP. Double Abomination in the front. Disease Cloud still working overtime, but Water Elemental's Mountain King is finally out. The eternity is over, and he's running from the main base. HawK has held, but he's got no bank. 61 supply against 78. INSUP still has a really good shot to tie this up.
Breaking through the shop, and then the floodgates are open towards these towers. Oh my god, Paladin. I think he just 100-0'd him, almost.
Yep.
That was so much nuke. No more healing for HawK. He's with his back against the ropes. This might just be the tap out right now. He gets 2 Fiend kills, and these do die quickly, as we pointed out, but so does the Archmage. Nuke again, diving forward, right-click, everything. F2 army control, just like Rotterdam does. But he doesn't quite get the kill. INSUP, to be fair, ended up losing quite a bit there. Not having Frost Armor is painful in this late game.
Yeah, 67 against 62. The Paladin's dead, but he's back in 6 seconds. If that Archmage went down, that would have all been worth it for INSUP, but HawK kind of knows what INSUP's going for. He knows he's just going for the heroes, so he's playing really careful with the heroes up until now. Nova, but staff out.
He's going to be away from this fight for a long time. With this staff, he's probably going to be healing for like a minute. All right, maybe less. Maybe I'm exaggerating. But Lich is chasing, looking for more kills. So many Novas. You think there's any nerds out there that have been getting triggered, that have been seeing Novas instead of Novae? Which would be appropriate.
Is that actually? Okay. Yeah, I learned something today.
I studied Latin, bro. I know this, all right? It sounds so pretentious. Novae?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I say staves sometimes. That's about as far as I'll go.
I can appreciate that. Lots of A-bombs, by the way.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Probably a bit too many A-bombs.
Panic macro, perhaps. He's been fighting for the last 6 minutes. It does happen, I think.
Level 2 Skellies and level 2 Dark Ritual. Very effective. More statues coming in from the main. There's going to be plenty more sustain. Don't like my rhyme? All right, that's fine.
I thought you were going to go for a third one. I thought it was going to be A, B, B, A there. I was waiting for it.
I'm not that.
Or maybe I could do the next line for you next time. We'll do a freestyle.
There's actually been so many rhymes in these 2 minutes. Anyways, Pally level 2. Staying way back. Good positioning on him. But it still seems like an overwhelming force by Insup. Clap is pretty effective. Oh my god!
The Nova and the Disease Cloud on top of it. That's a lot of AoE. The statue's now in the perfect position. Insup pressing forward. Can he get another money Nova? Every time I look at this Lich, half mana, full mana, at least 1/3 mana, pushing invulnerability. Don't think it dodged anything there, but the Death Knight's going to be very, very safe. Can Insup close it out here?
Yeah, he actually did. Stormbolt was flying. Nicely done. The DK was a bit far forward. Oh my god, the Nova. There's no dealing with this Nova anymore. This Lich has absolutely won this game for Insup. He's about to get level 6. Frost Armor would be the better choice, but come on. Give us the old man, just to show off.
Oh my god.
Dark Ritual 3, he doesn't even hesitate. Not for a millisecond. He wants more mana, and how would you not want to have that with so many beautiful Novas? At this point, you can even just Nova one single priest.
Yep.
Why not? Dark Ranger gets 4 as well. 6/4 hero levels on the undead side. It is absolutely overpowering now. HawK has hardly anything left. Hero levels are decent for him, but he just doesn't have the army, doesn't have the firepower.
Wow.
He's holding on for now, but GG will be called here in Insup's favor.
Very well done from Insup. I love the adjustment of the expansion, but I think Insup will probably have to stick to this in Game 3, and HawK is probably going to play a little bit different. Dark Ranger! Oh, you got to be careful. That's a level 4 hero going down. Level 6 now on the Archmage. Mass Teleport. Immediately, the army is still overwhelming, as you mentioned, but that's an important hero that goes down there. No silence now for the Holy Light, but again, the Novas
are
the
DK.
carry.
No, Insup! If you lose that hero as well, this game is certainly opened up again. Death Knight makes it to the back. DK positioning has been a bit off at times. We have one statue on the ground. Again, only one. There's oftentimes missing a few statues, making this game for Insup a little bit more difficult than it's supposed to be. But he's still got this huge force. Expansion, by the way, expired. All bases have expired. There's no more income on either side.
Oh, and that, okay. The Dark Ranger, it's not being produced. 126 gold. He's got to unsummon back at home. He can unsummon a ton of, he unsummon everything at the expansion if he wants, and get it back. But I don't think he started. He didn't realize.
I think he's only got 80 supply worth of ziggurats and stuff, so that's a bit weird. Should maybe unsummon one of the
crypts, maybe the necropolis at the expo, perhaps.
Yeah, it's weird. He also wants to make a haunted gold mine, but he wants to make the Dark Ranger as well. And he doesn't want to sell these items.
Yeah, big deep breath there from Insup. He's like, okay, I might be able to close this out, but God, has it been a struggle. That's probably what he's thinking, because Jesus, he's been ahead for a long, long time. But HawK showing some fighting spirit and showing that, you know, he might have the better mechanics overall. He's been on the back foot since the beginning, but he's managed to scrape his way just with pure micro in these fights. But now level 5 on the Death Knight, as though the nuke wasn't strong enough. Claws plus 12, that just adds to the nuking potential.
I think you should sell those, honestly.
Yeah,
it sounds crazy, but
yeah, I think you're totally right.
But he needs gold right now. He's got enough damage regardless. Insup with a really good game. It seems like he's bound to win this one. What a sick match as well. 25 minutes plus. I wonder how he's, you know, what he's gonna do, what his reaction's gonna be when he gets this win here. If he gets the W here on map 2.
Yeah, like if ever there was a position to throw a really big lead, I think it's this sort of game. The Dark Ranger's dead. Only the 3rd hero, yeah, but there's no economy. HawK has really, really good heroes. He's almost Pally level 3. I mean, like that, if that Death Knight goes down, the army doesn't matter. If the Death Knight dies, if the Lich dies, and there's nothing to Tavern revive back, the army is all going to die to this Tri-Hero. So this is a game that could be thrown, but Insup should certainly close it out.
Dark Ranger finally restarted. Insup got enough gold through creeping. Pally getting level 3 down here, maybe. That's a huge level. What's MK? Not quite 5, still taking a bit.
Oh, Archmage, get out of there. What are you doing? Okay, he definitely needs to get Pally 3 off of this. He needs it. He's going to. Okay. No, he doesn't. Oh my god.
I think he was worried with the AM standing out there that he was going to get caught.
It's going to be so crucial, that first Holy Light in the fight, though.
The Acolyte, that's level 3.
No,
don't kill him yet. Paladin, don't kill him yet.
Because when they get in a fight, there's going to be a Coil Nova on the Archmage, and if he doesn't have level 3 for that very first Holy Light, he's probably going to lose a hero. And what does he creep now? There is the corner turtle, and that's it. He's got to go to the upper left. My
Dude,
God.
Wait a minute. Do you remember when Insup crept this Merc camp? because he got a flute from it, and I only noticed the flute
Did
now.
he just creep it now?
Yeah, I think he's crept it a long time ago. I don't know, man. This game was crazy, all right?
Yeah.
We had a lot of Novas. We had a lot of rhymes. We had a lot of expansions.
All right, Dark Ranger, 25 seconds, and that silence is going to come in handy for sure. Mass teleport could be abused, especially if INSUP starts unsummoning a ton of buildings. We could get in a situation, although there's no tanks or anything, of course, where HawK could just full hit and run, because, yeah, if INSUP starts unsummoning all the buildings in his main base as well and doesn't expand, okay, he's going to go for the expansion now. Could he just sit here, though? Just build a haunted gold mine, just sit on the high ground, scout with something, maybe an accolade as well.
I think he kind of could. If HawK plays it smart, though, he can like attack into the main, scout outside the main, and then use mass teleport, stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
INSUP's still definitely in a winning position. I feel like, you know, after the last... Once the Dark Ranger died, his palms got real sweaty, and he was like, he kind of lost track of what to do. You probably could have played this ultra late game a bit better, but how can we blame him, man? This was one of the crazier games of this DreamHack Global Finals. To be fair, we had a lot of crazy games.
Yeah. We are reaching the 30-minute mark, though, which I do believe is the longest game we've had in the whole tournament. I don't think we've gotten past that 30-minute threshold. We certainly haven't seen this much gold mine. Yeah, HawK, I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to hold on long enough for the whole map to be mined out, but if ever there was a game, it would be this one. But what does HawK do now? I think your point about pressuring the main base, mass TP out, and then maybe send a knight to the expansion is a great one, but how many buildings is INSUP willing to sacrifice to secure this expansion? He could sacrifice quite a few.
If INSUP pays attention to protecting his heroes, of course, there is no way in hell HawK can win a fight. Hero focus, maybe a possibility, but even that's going to be super tough. Like, you can't kill the Dark Ranger anymore now that the DK is level 5, so the only hero you can kill is the DK. So honestly, INSUP only has to protect the DK. Pull him in the back, put him in hold position. Oh, nice block with the A-bomb, nice surrounded, but has a staff.
Archmage, always opportunity. Look, below half HP. If there's a silence on the Paladin, one wave of Fiend shots with the Orb is going to seal the deal. Almost at kill threshold right now. Another Holy Light. Very, very important, this choke point. Very good for INSUP as well, because the Abomination's lich, little out of position. Have to be super careful with that. But still, INSUP's trading fine. Okay, that's a lot of mana. That's a whole lot of mana.
He didn't even get that much. He was close to full mana, I think, anyways. But he doesn't want to give that experience to HawK.
Yeah, I think, honestly, INSUP could just even build 2 graveyards and block that ramp off at the expansion, and then just always be on the map, always be denying the expo, but even if he doesn't need it, he's double the supply right now.
Yeah. HawK, at this point, is looking for INSUP to make a big mistake to win this game. Oh, the Blizzard clap, that's pretty cool. But there's Dark Ranger to silence against that.
Yeah, HawK's FFA skills are coming in handy here, because he's been in this position before. Hero's trying to carry him on high level. And the Blizzard is actually insane. Silence there, but doesn't land on the Paladin, so the Archmage pushing him vulnerability just to Blizzard again. Heal Ward is an excellent usage. That's so nice here. INSUP maybe getting a little nervous here, but hero focus, Divine Shield pushing vulnerability used, Archmage. Threshold does go down almost immediately, and GG 1-1, 30-minute game. We crossed that threshold just at the end, and INSUP, oh, Canada, he's going to tie it up. Incredible.
Not ready yet to pop off. I think he knows, all right, that's a good win, but I'm still in this series, you know, it's not over yet. And it might be starting to enter his mind. I could do this. I could win this, maybe. I could maybe, at least, get one step closer.
For sure.
Map number 3 will bring us to the decision.
Concealed Hill, right?
Concealed Hill.
Yeah.
Gonna be a very different story. I think it's gonna be impossible for him to fast expand there. Here it worked out. Fast Expo. You know, we see Fast Expo from Undead a lot of the time nowadays, but normally it's Cryptlord or DK. Here with the Lich.
Yep.
It worked out quite well, I gotta say. I wonder if HawK should have tried to creep level 4 heavy and then wait for the first heal scroll and then commit more to an attack, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, this is the perfect strategy, I think, for INSUP, because he's very comfortable with the Lich. He's microed it a ton. He knows how to play it. He's very comfortable with the F keys, with the DK second, Dark Ranger always third. And then he goes for the Expo, which I think is just better overall, too. So I think he'll continue this. The question is HawK just going to play one base on Concealed Hill? Not only is it hard to expand, but it's also, you know, could be strong just to play one base if that INSUP does stick to the strat that worked on Last Refuge.
Yeah, I'm worried for him considering that fast expo option.
Yeah.
But we're going to see what they're going to do here in a little bit. We're going to cut to break now and then come back with a decision on map 3.
The DreamHack WarCraft Free Championship is brought to you by Norton Gaming and Coinbase.
Here we go, decision time. Down to the wire, we're sweating bullets, and so are these players, possibly as well. It's going to be decision on Concealed Hill. iNSUP still going with the Lich on map 2, but switching it up, not so aggressive as he normally is known to be playing, but rather expanding. I think we're both in agreement that looked much better, much more reliable, much more like a good strategy. But the problem is, on the next map, the last map, it seems almost impossible to do just that.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough the vetoes went this way because Concealed Hill, I mean, I feel like iNSUP made this adjustment on the fly after vetoes were already done. Like, okay, my one base isn't going to work, and then, oh no, I have to play Concealed Hill as the third map. So he's stuck between a rock and a hard place right now, it seems.
Getting ready, loading in. The Canadian against the Russian. In the top right, in the yellow, representing all the protein powders out there, it is HawK.
And in the bottom left, able to tie it up on Last Refuge with some adversity. Okay, I want to see 643,232 in Roman numerals in the chat. Let's go. It's iNSUPERABLE. All right, ghouls again. We'll see what the hero is here. Crypt Lord, probably better than the Lich, but I think he'll stick to his guns.
Yeah.
There's the Lich.
You know, it is what he's most practiced with. It is what he feels comfortable with. I can understand it. If HawK messes up here strategically, there's an opening for this to be amazing. If HawK goes for the fast expo and iNSUP finds that window to come in with Lich and Ghouls, that will be devastating damage. But there's no reason to assume that will be the case. We're going to have a footy scout once again confirming iNSUP's hero choice, and upon seeing the Lich, it is very, very likely HawK will once again go for... what am I saying? Go for the one-base tech.
Yeah. Is it possible at all for iNSUP to just go for that late expansion, maybe wait for nighttime, creep it with a bunch of ghouls if he can? Is there any possibility, and that even against the one base, and just try to hold at that expansion? Or is that, you not think that's a possibility?
It is a possibility. Honestly, I would kind of like it. It's a bit cheesy. You have to hope for your opponent to just miss the scout and leave you alone during nighttime, be busy creeping elsewhere, because if the human is there with level 2 Archmage, 5 footies, it's going to be GG right away if you try to expand, and of course then it fails. But if you're not found, if you're not scouted, it can work. But here we have the Lich running across the map, looking for damage once more. HawK saw it right away. He's heading south.
iNSUP going into the main base. I think he saw the footman. He actually moved a little bit back and forth. Indecisive here, iNSUP. He didn't know if he wanted to go for the peasants in the main or the Archmage.
Nova.
The Archmage is exposed. Nova on the crab did get it. 48 experience. That's nice as that's the round. Almost.
Jesus.
Wow, that could have been a TP, and the damage on the Archmage is significant. Already 2/3 health right now. Footman goes down. This is excellent for iNSUP so far.
Yeah, that's a good early game for iNSUP, absolutely. Gets one footy, puts lots of damage on the human army, and gets that crucial last hit steal, preventing level 2 on the AM. And HawK, a bit careless with his movement, I almost want to say.
Right.
It seemed like he had a south in case of fast expo, but you can just simply confirm that that's not happening. With a footy scout, the safer play would have been to just creep on his side, get that level 2, and build up your army.
Right.
And now being stuck on level 1 with the AM is the worst feeling in the world. But he is creeping the green with the militia, so he'll be level 2 here in a moment, while starting to tech.
Yeah, and iNSUP has his level 2 very early. Oh, Footman getting caught out of position. Archmage doing what he can. One, I think that was a rallied ghoul that ended up trying to fight.
Oh,
Footman gonna go down.
Another one's gonna die as well. Either to the creeps or to the Lich. It is to the creeps. That's a lot of footies dying right here.
Creeping this? I think he actually could creep it, and he'd be level 3 if he wanted. Not the dragon, of course. It would take a long time. Okay, it's not going to do it. That would have been cool. Okay, water elemental. Is that the ghoul that was mis-rallied? I think it was. Nice block. Well done from iNSUP.
iNSUP could have crept the lab of the opponent, but he's looking to run into the main. There's an arcane tower here. Is that enough protection? Lich. No Nova for him, getting burned right away. But still, this is going to have to be respected by HawK.
Yeah, and there's barely any footmen. What has it been? 3-4 footmen going down. I think HawK, when he played rifles in the first map, only went for 4 footmen. So this is a level 2 Archmage, and it seems like 3 footmen on the map that he now has.
Oof, nice target fire on those peasants that were hurt. That was from creeping the green camp, of course. Lots of peasants going down. And that means going tier 3 in this game for HawK might be completely impossible.
For sure. He could open the lab and go for a shredder and then maybe go for an expansion later. It's going to be tough, though. This is a great game. I think this is exactly how iNSUP would hope the first 5 minutes would go. So big chances for the underdog here, but HawK is going to get that tech done soon, and then he'll have map control with that Mountain King.
A player's forces are under attack.
Good items, certainly for the Archmage. iNSUP's movement on point. He always finds the opponent and able to find some more damage. Doesn't have quite enough mana for a Nova here. Eats the ghoul. All right, now we got mana. And he gets that last hit as well on the Huntsman. The Lich closing in on that level 3.
Also, the dead finished in 5 seconds. That'll mean Death Knight in 1 minute. Ghoul gets ensnared. Unfortunate. Dark Ritual is off cooldown, or almost was, but the deny was missed with the auto attack. And now HawK will get close to his own level 3. One more camp will do it. And Rifle coming out. Tier 2 tech now done for HawK. We'll probably see that Mountain King soon. INSUP, if he can get this whole orange camp, would be level 3, but HawK trying to not allow that.
Level 3 power-ups, always a huge deal in WarCraft games, and this one is no exception. Danger is kind of here to run in with the ghouls. The Nova is, of course, waiting. Oh, nice little 4 points around right there. But last hit of that creep goes to the Archmage. Sick items, Jesus. And both now almost level 3.
Ensnare on something, possibly. Nova hits the Footman and gets the last hit. Almost level 3. Maybe INSUP thought he would get level 3 off that. Almost surrounds the Footman against the trees, but the Lich is so low, he's got to wait for his friend, the Death Knight. Rifle,
Oh!
What is going on? Rifleman, what are you doing? You're far away from home, and now you got a net over top of you. Is that dead? Maybe not.
Oh my god, thank goodness.
He can go to the fountain. Okay, he's got enough time at the fountain to heal up. That would have been really rough for HawK.
Yeah, losing that first Rifleman, that is a disaster for the mid-game. So they're going to be missing in action for a while, but will rejoin the company soon. Where's that DK? Desperately waiting for him to come out. Both just one single creep away from level 3. There it is. Surprised to not see the Nova instantly. Is it time to throw ice shards onto the Archmage again? Nope. First on the footy. Thinking about the deny. Doesn't quite get it. But MK comes in, and now these ghouls are going to be in trouble as well. Oh my god! He just knocked Gridstone before the Stormbolt arrived. I have legit never seen that.
Super sick plays from
And a
INSUP.
surround.
He's heating up. All right. Threatening the surround, but baiting maybe damage, focus fire on the heroes, and then turning for the rifle. Exactly. Not a Nova, though, unfortunately, but HawK, fortunately, will save all of his rifles and gets a lot of kills there. Fancy from INSUP, but nothing really to back it up. He's just losing a bunch of units.
Yeah, this is like a typical INSUP stream game. Just non-stop fighting, running in, Spartan style, never retreat, never surrender.
60 mana, that's 15 away from the Stormbolt, and the Death Knight will be in stranger danger territory, but INSUP will wisely back away. And HawK continued the aggression. It is a castle tech, but this is quite late, because if I remember, his castle tech was a little quicker than INSUP's tier 3. Maybe not. It's pretty even, though, at the end of the day. And, of course, HawK's army will eventually be a lot stronger on tier 3.
Yeah, honestly, I thought with those peasant losses, lumber would be more of a problem for
Yeah.
HawK, but it does seem to work out well. And his tech will be coming in soon. Oh, a bit off with the Nova. INSUP has been great with the Lich positioning and spell usage this game here. With a bit of a mistake. And again, experience is crucial, especially between these second heroes. Level 2 level up for the MK, perhaps not too relevant, but for the DK for the Aura, it certainly is.
Yeah. That Archmage has to be careful, though. He's getting to the point where, you know, if he takes a few auto attacks, maybe a couple from the Fiends as well, Coil Nova could definitely force that town portal. But the Priest, that's a crucial find now, and he's going to start healing up that rifle. The Mountain King, he's working overtime, double time. Rifle gets Coil Nova. Stormbolt now on the Death Knight. Is there enough? Town portal could be passed over, and it was indeed. But the Death Knight might be able to run. Now the Mountain King in danger. Priest is still working. This guy is a busy
DK.
boy. The DK. Oh no, the Death Knight movement.
That was the big micro mistake by INSUP. He said that the DK in the group wasn't quick enough to pull it back. Takes out the Priest, but that is a horrible trade for him. Death Knight could have healed up at the back of the army if the statue was in position. And these are these little mistakes where INSUP isn't quite yet on the same level as Happy and the other greats, with always having the perfect positioning.
Yes.
See the replay right away.
Very
nice
close.
play with the TP transfer. But here the DK is safe. He's faster than the other units. And then he targets the MK, and the DK is still part of the group.
Yeah.
That can be a game-losing mistake, but we're not there yet. HawK appreciates the free time that he now has to creep, gets level 2 MK, and a Scroll of the Beast, which can be very good in the right moments.
It's quite good. Interfire, Scroll of the Beast, once you get those +2 attack upgrades, he's already got, or no, he's probably going to get +1 pretty soon. Adept for the Priest on the way. Maybe a little bit late. Maybe that's the lumber issue coming into play. The Sanctum, maybe a tiny bit late, because those Priests were only online late into that fight, and now Adept after the second Priest. Maybe it's the third this time around. A little bit late. Red Camp will be fought over, and it's hard to say who's able to win. HawK's still waiting for quite a bit, and INSUP already has the Orb, and he'll have Destroyers as well, so maybe he'll get this middle Red Camp.
If INSUP gets the Dark Ranger edition here, I would say he's favored in a real fight.
20 gold for that. He can get it right now. There he gets it. And Red Camp still available. HawK can't commit to the inner-fired Ogre. Stormbolt, again, the hero's slightly out of position. Scroll the Beast used. That's really nice usage for HawK.
Does he have Destroyer form? Yes, he does. INSUP always quick to upgrade that. Needs to fly in with a Destroyer, dispel that, and not take too much damage in the meantime. Here we go. First Devour, full mana on the Destroyer right away. It's all about the last hit right here. Lich can steal the last, but the item, it seems like, should almost certainly go to HawK now. Pulling it once again closer to his units, but the Ogre Lord runs back. HawK says, return, man. I need that item. He needs that experience. So does the DK. Still not level 2, still not having the aura here. It's very painful for INSUP.
INSUP could almost coil Nova the Ogre, and he does do that, but the item does go to the side of, I think it was Claws? It was Claws plus 12, right? Yeah, passed over to the Archmage right away. Tons of damage on that Archmage. My god, Staff as well. Destroyer ensnared, but will get into the air again, and Town Portal forced. INSUP maybe trading favorably there, but that item is a big one.
Last bit of experience went to HawK. If we look at the second heroes especially, I think that kind of tells the story. MK about to get level 3. And as we saw earlier on the first map, it tends to be slightly favorable for human, the hero exchanges here, considering the Dark Ranger versus Paladin. But DK is going to get level 2 now. And that's a huge one. This aura makes a huge difference. Big mana potion as well, the perfect find for INSUP.
Yeah, both players getting some nice items so far. Lich wouldn't mind a couple of maybe attack damage items, but there's still the bottom right for a potential Claws there, and the Fountains will probably go one apiece, I'd imagine. It's quite easy for HawK to creep it, of course, but his army's quite slow, so I doubt he can creep one, then run straight over. INSUP maybe going to the wrong position. Does he feel he can win a fight here? The Pendant of Energy, also on the Paladin, excellent item. I feel like just going to the bottom right and taking those 3 big camps there would have been better for INSUP.
Players' forces are under attack.
Yeah, hard to tell. Maybe he feels with the Lich now and the Focus Fire he can easily find pickoffs before the Paladin is level 3. But the MK level 3 is certainly quite strong now. Might be sharing the camp, the item, the big part goes to HawK, and he gets the Sobi Mask. Wonderful drop. But now, INSUP with the help of the Fountain.
They've just been creeping together the whole game, it feels like. From the very beginning, the Crab camp, and then the middle, and now the other red camp as well. They just keep wanting to be best friends. The positioning maybe favoring INSUP. A couple of rifles could find their way being out of position. Stormbolt, damn, that orb is putting in work right now. First Fiend falls, Priest Nova. Is there a Holy Light? There's not even Focus Fire on the Priest. 2 units are getting quite low. A second Fiend burrowed, but will die before it is cloaked, and the statue's now out of position. HawK is finding all the kills.
Burrow coming in, and there is no detection against it. First slight mistake here by HawK we've seen in a while, but the MK still looking for more kills. Hammer flies once more, the target fires so strong with it orb of fire. And also the Claws. INSUP's army seems to have shrunk to a tiny size, has hardly any fiends left. DK in trouble, Right Click's coming through, and the Death Knight dies again. Partly also because of the earlier loss, he was under leveled, but the Mountain King shall fall also. Lich level 4, very strong, gets the kill, but the statue falls and the Paladin finds level 3. That's a huge one for level 2 Holy Light. And with that, this exchange certainly in HawK's favor, even gets a Fiend on the way back. DK has to be Tavern Resed, very expensive, and HawK comfortably now expanding with the lead he has.
Oh, there's no Holy Light. There is a Town Portal staff out perfectly on the Priest. And yeah, now HawK doesn't even need to trade favorably, just needs to buy enough time for that expansion. Mountain King could come back, but he wouldn't have any mana. But the Sobi Mask and, of course, the Aura would change that in no time. And INSUP 35 supply against the 45 of HawK. There's the Mountain King again. He'll have a Stormbolt in like 5 seconds. Look at that mana regen.
HawK looking really good. Looking like he shall be moving on in the lower bracket if this continues. Lawlight, of course, waiting in the next match. It would be a rematch. We have been talking about the rematch curse here at the Global Finals. But that shall be a story for later. INSUP, far behind now, for sure, in this game. What's the way back?
I think Hero Focus all the way. It tends to be the story of this series so far, but I don't think INSUP realizes the expansion's online. He spent so much focus on the army. Coil, Nova, but Holy Light has been perfectly timed. The Holy Light and the Stave so far, very nicely used by HawK, and the Fountain now has to be contested by INSUP or else the hero levels are out of control, but I don't think he can win the fight.
HawK looking very confident now, willingly engaging the red camp. Confident he can take a fight, and seems like he can. The Lich in trouble right away. DK didn't have Coil anymore. Again, he's under-leveled. He was dead for so long. Couldn't make use of the statue uptime all this while. I feel like this first hero lost on the DK may have sealed this game. HawK picks up the next item, Quel'Thala's Boots. That is, I believe, the worst item from this camp. But anyway, still good experience.
Maybe
and
bone
a bit
chimes.
of gold. Yeah,
That would be worse. But they would both be sold, obviously. And now iNSUP again, maybe mispositioning a bit. Gonna give up that bottom right to HawK. And the Death Knight's still not level 3 because there's so much experience lost when he died those couple of times. And iNSUP maybe gonna just power on through the upper left, try to maybe play hit and run. That's what we saw Lukail attempt as well against Chamiko when he was behind, with some success yesterday, but for iNSUP, I'm afraid he might be too far behind.
This could be the third Undead out of the tournament with Lucy and X-Lord. Only Happy would be remaining, whom we'll be seeing later. All right, iNSUP, it's time to morph some destroyers. Take initiative back. HawK has the TP, of course, to return to his Expo. But he may want to give it up, in fact, for the counterattack. Plus 37 on an Archmage.
Oh my dear lord.
Is that a record?
That is ridiculous.
That's pretty crazy.
Perfect items. Look at those. That's everything you want right there on your Archmage. And, okay, the Peasants cleaned up, and the Skeletons will start working on that Town Hall. 51 against 58 with those Peasants going down. Town Portal back again, defending in the main base is iNSUP, but Inner Fire and everything, and it's so tricky when the whole army is Inner Fired and there's full mana on all 3 heroes for HawK.
iNSUP TP's way in the back, but he's kind of stuck there. If he funnels out now, he might get caught by one Stormbolt after the next. Coil Nova, not quite enough. Nicely timed Holy Light. We've seen that now a couple of times. Saving the Priest, saving the Rifles. HawK on a remake, the Peasant at the expansion. Takes out the Black Citadel. Doesn't care about the repair. DK far up front. Oh my god, going 100-0 in almost the duration of a Stormbolt. And that's the third time. This time it can't be recovered. GG, well played. And HawK will win. Move on in the lower bracket. He does survive. He was, of course, the favorite, but iNSUP making it close. It was a good showing for iNSUP. He doesn't go out of this tournament without dropping a map. Fair play, shake hands, and I think iNSUP does have reason to be proud here of his